Hi, I'm here to give a little bit of a life update. In June, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. This all started with a pap smear that I was just growing up, always got them done annually, and I forgot to get one last year with my wedding and just going to Alaska and everything going on. And they've actually changed the rules to where it's 3 to 5 years instead of every year. So technically I shouldn't have even gotten one on my second year. My husband and I wanted to try to start having a family. So I was like, I want to go ahead and get one. And so she did. And that was in May. And then she gave me a call about a week later and said that I needed to go to another OB and get some biopsies of my cervix. And so my husband came with me and I had 2 biopsies done on my cervix, and you're awake for that. They just tell you to take ibuprofen, and I about squeezed his hand off. And then 4 days later, I got a phone call from my doctor, and my husband was with me when I got the phone call. And he told me the worst news of my life, that I had cervical cancer and I needed to have surgery as soon as possible. I turned 30 on June 25th, and that week was family vacation. And I called my mom and my stepdad, best parents in the world. And I told them, like, hey, I just found out I have cervical cancer and we have to cut family vacation short. We'll be there for half of it because on June 27th, 2 days after I turned 30, I have to go back to Indianapolis and have surgery. So we didn't tell the rest of the family until we were already down there. We were still taking it all in, and it's a lot. So on the 27th, I had what's called a cold knife surgery, horrible name for a surgery, and a DNC. The cold knife surgery was to go in and take out parts of my cervix that were cancerous, and then do a DNC to ensure that the cancer did not spread to my uterus, because if it had spread to my uterus, I was looking at a full hysterectomy, which was my biggest fear. Surgery went well. It only took like an hour. I was put to sleep. I didn't really have any pain. It was on a Thursday. And then Tuesday, I went back to work and just waited for pathology results. I started to cramp and hurt pretty bad, and Tuesday and Wednesday, but I was working through it. And then July 4th, I started hemorrhaging a week after my surgery. And so I had to go to the ER immediately. I couldn't even drive, and I was 2.5 hours away from home. So luckily, that's where my current contract is. It's far away. So luckily my coworkers were so kind. They're my dear friends, and drove me to my husband, and we got to the hospital, and the on-call OB came in, and she saw the 2 active areas where I was bleeding from my cervix, but she couldn't figure out why I was in incredible pain. Like, I felt like my pain, if it was anything close to labor, that's what I felt like. And she said that my surgical bed was infected. So I was put on antibiotics and pain meds and bed rest for a few days. And then that following week, I finally got my pathology results back from the surgery, and thank God there was no cancer in my uterus. So that was the biggest blessing. But my doctor said that I still had residual cancer left in my cervix, and I need another procedure. So this isn't over, unfortunately. My follow-up appointment with my doctor is Monday, the 29th of July, and we're going to plan my next procedure. And he said that this procedure will be just like the biopsy. It's like a colposcopy, but it'll be like a curative one where they go in and take out the remaining cancer, but I'm also going to have cauterization as well. So they'll just burn the surrounding areas to ensure there's no cancer left, hopefully, and I can just be done with this. The cold knife surgery just puts me at a higher risk of miscarrying, but my doctor did say that he did the same procedure on a patient last year, and when she was healed, she got pregnant and miscarried, but now she's due any day with a baby. So that's all I can hope for. I just want this next procedure to get done with and over with, and I want the cancer out of my body, and I want to move on, because this has just been a lot. It's like, hey, happy 30th birthday, you have cancer, and you don't even have any babies yet. And in this economy and in this world, I already was hesitant about having babies, but my mom always reminds me, babies bring hope. My husband and I realized how badly we really wanted a family, even more so during this. And to have that possibly taken away was really scary. I'm also grateful that I advocated for my pap smear, because had I waited the 3 to 5 years that's recommended now, I would have been stage 4 by the time they found it. I'm very blessed and very grateful, and again, so grateful that I don't have to have a hysterectomy. But yeah, so my anxiety is still incredibly high, and I'm just getting through day by day, trying to get to this follow-up appointment and know the next step. It's just hard trying not to be too hopeful like I was with the surgery, where they were like, okay, we think we got it all, you'll be good, and then finding out I'm still not all clear. Preventative medicine is the best medicine. Advocate for your health, advocate for your body. It saves lives, and I think my life was saved by advocating for this pap smear that got me to where I am. Cancer's a bitch, and I've learned a lot, and I have the best support system. I have the best husband in the world. He's been there through everything, from the biopsies to the phone call to the surgery to being in the ER with me in the worst pain of my life. He's watched way too many people do pelvic exams on me than he probably ever expected. But we're hoping that, the next time, aside from my next follow-up appointment, that the next time I have a pelvic exam is when I'm pregnant. Just got to get through this. So there weren't many videos or research that I could do of like other women's experiences with the cold knife surgery and the DNC. When I looked them up, in the one video I looked up prior to going into the surgery, the woman unfortunately had bad margins from her DNC, and she had to have a total hysterectomy. And I'm like, that's my biggest fear. Nope, I'm done looking things up. Like, what will be will be. So, but hopefully I will be a testament to the surgery, and hope if you have to have it. Granted, this still isn't over, but I'm happy to go into more detail about the surgery and what that entailed in my journey. And I'm using this thing that God put in my path as a way to advocate for women's health and to spread awareness. Yeah, take care of yourself and get those yearly pap smears, whether they say to wait or not. Go get your dermatology exams every year. I had basal cell carcinoma removed from my abdomen from a dermatology appointment when I was 20. You're never too young for cancer. My cousin passed away at 27 from breast cancer, and you're just never too young for any of this. It can happen to anyone at any time, and it's horrifying. And I work in the medical field, and I take care of patients like this, and it's hard being the patient now, but yeah, I'm happy to go into more detail if you have any questions, but I will update all of you after my follow-up appointment and what the next step is. So God bless.